Welcome back to another live session from Forex Trading Wizard Academy for the session of NY. And let's make the sound a little bit lower here. Hello trader, welcome back to this live session. Waiting for the coming up NY session news. Dollar yen, welcome. Hello, welcome. Thank you for joining the live session here. We are approaching NY session news coming up in few minutes. Unemployment claims, and the price has just crossed the previous session's high here, and we can see there is a significant volatility at the moment. On the lower time frame, there is a complete bounce back to the upside. The price has crossed this 4-hour resistance line, and with this crossover that you can see, the market currently has approached that important level that you can see. And with this movement on gold, it has just crossed the session's high. This is in a very important level that we might be able to find potential entry. But at the same time, if you look at closely, what you can see here, that gold just the news is coming in 15 minutes time. So the price has just crossed the previous session's high here, which is also approaching a daily resistance line. We might find potential entry upon news announcement. So waiting for the news to come up here. Let's see that where we can find potential entry in this market with this upcoming NY session. I hope that you guys ready for another possibly volatile trading day, as after yesterday's FOMC meeting minutes, the market has responded very aggressively, and at the moment we can see the price has reached that key level of resistance, and from that resistance we might see the market to potentially reject in that direction. So looking at the 4-hour chart here, that you can see from this level, this is the 4-hour level, which is an important level of support. And in this 4-hour time frame, if you look at here, you can see the market has made its move back to the upside. And with this move on the intraday time frame from the 4-hour chart, which is an important level of support, we see that the market has got the rejection back to the upside. And with this rejection, expecting the market to potentially correct back below here to this support level. Now, looking at first of all multi-time frame analysis on gold that we will be looking at, also you see along with gold also currency pairs currently, especially the euro dollar and British pound US dollar is trending. Which instrument you are looking at? Welcome, good morning, thank you for joining. And looking at here, let's see that on the daily chart, this is the daily resistance here, which is an important key level of resistance. The market crossed 10 and 20 EMA both, and you see that from the daily it made this today's low here at this level at 3325 level. It reached that zone. And looking at the 4-hour chart, if you look at, you can see that from this intraday time frame, from that resistance line, big drop to that support, we can see that pull back to the upside, and we could see the market to possibly come back here to this support level, which is an important level of support. And that support that we can see the market potentially to come back, retest, and we see that rejection, we might see further drop here in this market to drop back to this level. Therefore, lower time frame price action, I'm waiting for a possible entry. And from the multi-time frame analysis, if we look at the weekly chart, before we look at the directional bias, it is essential that we look at directionally that the market structure is correct here. So if you look at here, what you can see in this market from the directional perspective, from the weekly chart, From the weekly, this is the weekly candlestick pattern formation so far, which is weekly dojis. So this is today, this week's high here that we can see, and also this is the week's low here that we can see. So week's high, week's low, pretty important range here from the weekly time frame on gold. And because the market is approaching that weekly high and low, what we can expect for the market to potentially drop back again, certain level here, certain distance in that direction from the weekly perspective here in this market. And that being said, from the weekly, expecting gold to potentially continue to trend back down below. And daily chart so far showing that directional bias. We have seen that from the daily. Now we are dropping down to the daily time frame. Daily time frame is very important, as this is the time frame where we can see the market structure to evolve over time. So from the daily time frame, this is the daily resistance line here, where in this daily resistance, this is the daily channel here in that area, the market potentially to break below and to create a new lower low here, where you can see that from the daily time frame, this is the daily significant drop, a big drop here on the daily, followed by this pullback to the upside, and we can see another drop followed by pullback, another drop. So the market is maintaining series of lower high and lower low, which is in a downtrending market structure currently, gold. And with this downtrending market structure, we might see the market potentially to trend below here to that support level. Therefore, we can expect for the market to possibly to trend back below here in that direction. And this is the, if you look at here, this is the daily resistance where there is a high liquidity zone. And in that daily resistance, if you look at, the price may test that level and then to return back again to the direction of the trend. So that being said, from the 15-minute chart that I'm looking at in this lower time frame, here is Xauusd. Currently was, if you look at here, you can see this is a consolidation pattern here, which is important consolidation, and that structure could lead breaking below here. This is what I'm looking at the moment on gold, that the price may break below here to the major direction of the trend. As news is coming, our goal here is to look for a potential spike, and that spike, if it cross the session's high, we may be able to find possible sell entry. So this is the looking at where the market so far showing possible bearish directional bias. We have seen that yesterday the market has made move back to the upside, and then currently the price again trying to push back below here. So are you guys ready for an entry? Say yes in the live chat if you are ready. As the market is progressing with the upcoming news, our first analysis to look at what level we will be looking into the entry. Now, finding a high quality entry is the key here, is the main goal, to look for an entry that is high quality, because quality is more important than quantity that you will be looking at. That's what we're looking at here. If you look at, you can see this is the 15 minutes perspective here. With this move, there is a significant break to the upside. The market has reached that key level, and from that zone expecting the market to trend back again to the direction of the major trend. That said, if you look at the 1 hour perspective here, you can see this is the 1 hour price action, a complete break to the upside to this resistance line where there is a high liquidity, and from that zone expecting the market to potentially trend back below here to the support level. Here's the 5 minutes perspective here on gold, which is, this is where the uptrend, the price has penetrated that key level and then to possibly return back again to the major direction of the trend. That's what we're waiting to see, the market to retest and then to reject back below to create a new lower low in this market. I hope that you guys enjoying the live session that I'm doing every day. Make sure you give a thumbs up and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't done yet. USD analysis, yeah, we will be looking at when a news in just 4 minutes time. So I'm watching from Zambia. Welcome to this live session. What of Gbpusd? Yeah, so along with the gold also we'll be looking at currency pairs. If you guys looking at anything other than British pound history, you can let me know here. We can discuss to find better entry opportunity. So looking at here, where along with gold also would like to look at USD pairs. Before live session I was looking at the Gbpusd, which was in fact also, we can see that trending, and that trend on British pound US dollar, if you look at it, you can see the price here. This is a resistance level where there is a liquidity grab, and with this liquidity grab here we can see the market from here a drop followed by this pullback, another drop, pullback to the upside, and where we can see that this is a trend line, and in this trend line what we can see, the market from the trend line could potentially break below this level, and this is what we're waiting to see, that British pound US dollar to break below, potentially to create a new lower low in this market. From the 4-hour chart here, this is where there is the resistance here. We can see the price approach that level. What I think the price may possibly break below again to the major direction of the trend. So from the Gbpusd, from the bigger picture, what I think it may possibly remaining bearish in this market. So with Gbpusd, we are keeping aside with our watch list, while we can see that gold has just penetrated the high here, and as in 2 minutes coming up, unemployment claims, expecting first the market to break that high, create a false breakout. If the price is crossing that level where there is a previous resistance line 3342 and crossing above, upon rejection we can look for possible sell entry in this market, because this is a falling market. We can see already has broken below, the price has gone back again to the upside here with a bigger momentum here, which is basically a complete breakup structure to the upside. Welcome from Zambia, thank you. Welcome. Here is what we can see in this market, that if you look at gold overall, we can see that after this big drop to that support level, the market is here again pushing back to the upside here, and that pushback that you can see on gold is potentially to retest that level and then to return back again to the support level. So if the spike is up, we are down. That means if the spike is up, we can look for possible entry upon price action confirmation here in this area. I hope that you guys ready to enter as soon as it shows. We will be using the pending order once the market shows its hand in this area. So the spike here, let's see what kind of market structure is forming. 235k unemployment claims, way more than expected. That might lead DXY to be weaker. Let's wait to see. Yep, DXY has some downside bias here, and that might give gold some upside move. Though news may not be a complete trend changer, but that move, that news might give a potential boost to the upside. And look at the 1 hour here. If you look at here, you can see that this is we have seen a complete break below, again move back to the upside. Depending on now the lower time frame price action, we will be able to potentially have a sell opportunity in that area. But before we look for the sell, would like to see how the market is potentially doing here. This is the move here on gold. You can see from this support level, complete bounce back to the upside here, and there is a liquidity grab in this area on gold from the 30 minutes, and that liquidity grab, the market has tested that high, and with this test of this high, we could see the trend, the market to trend back below. Now 30 minutes perspective here, you can see it's a one single move back to that key level. Would like to see that it's getting properly rejected before we look for any entry for this potential move back below here in this market. Here is a lower time frame price action that you can see the market is trying to build up a bullish trend here. And that trend that we can see in this market, expecting the price to grab more liquidity and then to return back again to the direction of the trend. Okay, so getting some upside bias here. This is a local uptrend at the moment on the 5 minutes, which is also aligning with the 30 minutes resistance line. The price is crossing that high, and so if you look at the 30 minutes and 5 minutes, from the 30 minutes is still showing the directional bias is bearish. But from the 5 minutes, we see there is a crossover of a 10 and 20 EMA, which is basically here showing potential bullish move back to the upside here. And therefore, we will be waiting for a change in trend. Then we can look for possible entry in this market. Now there is a daily resistance that we can look at. I'm going to delete those lines, those levels for a fresh move. From the daily, now the price is approaching the daily resistance line, where if you look at here, you can see this is a daily resistance, and the market may possibly go ahead and hit that daily level. And if the price is hitting the daily level with this 4-hour candle, which is nearly there, we might be able to see again potential selling opportunity in this market from the daily perspective, which is from the 1 hour as well. It's the daily resistance line. So the approach on this market, I'm looking at the 30 minutes price action, where a complete move back to the upside, and that move after the news, you see the boost in the market structure. And looking at daily, from the daily crossed from each other, and from the 1 hour, if we look at, and 4 hour, the market structure slowly building its pressure back to the upside here. And with this move that you can see on Xauusd, expecting the price to potentially push back here to that level, and where the market may, if you look at here, you can see this high, that low, and where as the market is approaching that level, we could see the price to potentially return back below to the major direction of the trend. And that bounce on gold, you can see it's one single move, which is expecting it to cross the daily, possibly to the daily high. If the price move back to push that daily high, which is 3351 level, with this move, that's a very good area for possible sell entry for at least one single move back below. So this is the daily opening close, which is 334647, but I would prefer this level here, as it can retest this 3347 and could come back, or it can reach the daily high and still can come back here. Looking at 30 minutes here in this market, from this level going back to that level where there is an important liquidity zone, which is smaller, narrower green candle, which is a high liquidity zone here on gold. And with this high liquidity, as this is an important 30 minutes candlestick pattern here on gold, expecting the market to possibly retest and then to cross that high potentially, then return back below to the major direction of the trend. So that move that you can see on gold is a key support level, which is turning resistance, and expecting the market to test and then to return back below again to the direction of the trend. Here's the move that you can see the price is slowly trying to pull back to the upside here, and which is an important zone that you can see the price slowly building its pressure. And that's a very important price action. That's a very important zone that you can see the price is approaching, which is a key level. And from here, with this move, what we can see from this support level, getting back to the upside here, and that's a key level that expecting it to penetrate and then to return back. So for an entry opportunity, we might see even the price to go ahead and hit 3352 level with this one move. And if that's the move that directly the market is going there, we will be opening sell position. Even we have still probability for the market to revisit 3347 level. Good evening, welcome. So where we can place a potential pending order here? Let's see that what is the best level to look for an entry. Here's the move from this support level. You can see it's moving back to the upside here. And with this move that you can see on gold, which is slowly building its pressure back to the upside here. From here, we can see this is an important support level. And that move that you can see the market is trying to build up that pressure back to the upside. And that move, what we can expect for the price to potentially retest and then to reject back again to this support level. There is the move that you can see on gold and expecting this market to push up further and to give us a potential entry. And from the 4-hour, you can see it already overextended back to the upside from the 4-hour time frame. And that candle closing with another long wick candlestick pattern formation here. So the 30 minutes price action here reached that level. As if you look at here, you can see this is there was a break of structure here on the daily, and this is a significant break of structure because before this swing high here, you see this is the swing high in this downtrend. Okay, so when the market was coming from this level, it was a swing high here. And in this swing high, the market was maintaining series of lower high in this market. As the market is maintaining that series of lower high, we have seen there is a first break of this swing high here, which is this level, has just crossed that high. And then it has crossed that swing high. And then we can see the price drop to that level. Now we can see the price again moving back again to the upside with another momentum. And because the market again moving back to the upside with another momentum, we could see that this market, what I think, to potentially create a new higher high here. And that new higher high that you can see the market to move back to the upside, which we could see the price to retest that level and then to return back again to the major direction of the trend. So that being said, here is the move on gold, and with this move would like to see that it's went well above before we look for any possible entry. 15 minutes candle close with a long wick candle. Now this long wick, is this liquidity gap, or we could see another wick fill to the upside? That is the most important part that we need to look at the moment for potential entry. What I think, if this market going back again to this level to retest, that's where we'll be able to find possible better entry opportunity here in this market, as breaking that high is where there will be high liquidity zone and better trading opportunity. Daily high that you can see the price almost reached that level, and expecting the market to potentially break the high, cross that level, and then to return again back to the major direction of the trend. But we can see that push back to the upside. Now, I always discuss this system that always we need to look for the multi-time frame confirmation along with the major direction of the trend. So the multi-time frame can give us the direction of the trend, which way the market is potentially trending. So we need to look at the multi-time frame for a trend that we can see. If you look at here, you can see this is a move. And from the multi-time frame, if you look at the daily, we can see that daily market structure is still bearish. If we look at the 30 minutes, that you can see from this support level, also the market is showing that from this support level, it's a bounce to the upside. So the trend on the 30 minutes is, we have seen that there was a break of structure yesterday with the FOMC, and then it returned back to the 50% pullback, more than 50% nearly. Now we see another bounce. Now this bounce could potentially lead the price to cross that daily high. There is this candle that you can see, it's quite significant because this is where order block. Understanding order block will give you a clear understanding about the smart money trading system, because smart money trade based on liquidity. If you look at here, some of the trade based on the smart money liquidity graph, and this indicator also helped me to find faster trade with proper liquidity graph, and also with entry, stop loss and take profit target built in the system with 3:1 reward to risk. As when the smart money coming in the market start to move, and there leaves that price action in the market to see that in fact we can look at those areas for entry, because when they are opening position, the market start to move and the candlestick pattern form in a way that we can spot those trades, and that helps with this indicator. This is the best strategy that I use to trade the market every single day using liquidity, market structure, and price sections. Here is the move on Xauusd. We can see this is a move back to the upside here, and with this move the market is trending, and we could see the price potentially to trend back here to this support, which is turning resistance here. Here's the move back to the upside here on gold, and that move we can see in this market is potentially breaking that high, creating a new higher high. British pound US dollar started to break below after second step liquidity grab. Is the market preparing for a drop? This is the support on Gbpusd. And because Gbpusd is in a bear market, Gbpusd lower time frame showing sharp bearish market structure. And we'll be waiting for the candle close on British pound US dollar. While gold on the lower time frame reach that level, cross that high, there's the move on Xauusd from the support level, penetrated back to the upside and approaching that key level here, expecting the market to trend back here to that resistance line where there is a high liquidity. Here's the 4-hour price action. The price slowly building that pressure back to the upside here. And That move that you can see from here, from the 30 minutes, from here, the move back below, and it builds that pressure back to the upside here. Looking at for possible entry from those areas that you can see. From this level, you can see the market is trying to move back up here. So dollar yen analysis, buy sells. We'll be looking for sell, as it is still showing that long-term bearish, but waiting for the market possibly to test the daily high here. British pound US dollar coming in a support level, and we might see that continue to drop 4-hour closing with a bearish engulfer. Dollar yen is in a very sharp uptrend. Dollar yen is in an uptrend, and we could see the market is potentially trending to the upside. So dollar yen, I will not be impressed with any entry at the moment, as you can see the very narrow range, one candle range on daily, which is very narrow range. Rather, British pound US dollar is having a nice trend. This kind of market is good to trade when the market trends, which is very important to look at. Okay, now in this area, as early we have seen from the daily, first when the market opened the daily in the beginning, if we look at the bigger picture, you can see that the market already has revisited that support below and then returned back to the upside. So the price in a level where the possibility for the market to reject again is higher, because it already has reached that resistance line, and from that level expecting the market to return again back below here. And that price action that you can see from this level, the price to revert again, return back below again to the support level. And from that perspective, if you look at this, is the 30 minutes price action where the price is slowly building up its pressure back to the upside. And as it is building that pressure back to the upside here, would like to see the market is reaching that daily level of resistance, and from that zone we'll be looking for selling in this market. Here is more. that you can see on the 30 minutes trying to push back here. It might lead that price now to the daily high. This is what we're waiting to see, for the price to reach again back to the daily high and then to return to the support level. It's already has made significant break to the upside here, already has made significant move back to the upside here, and from that zone expecting the market to return again back below here in this market. So 1 hour candle close with a long wick rejection here. So you can look for a potential entry once the price is potentially hitting this level here, as already we can see near to that daily level. The high liquidity above this level at 3347, which is a very high liquidity zone in this market, and as the market in that high liquidity zone expecting the price to retest and then to potentially revert back again to the direction of the trend. From the daily, we can see the price almost reached that level. This is today's low here. The price has reached that level at 3325. Looking for entry here after price action confirmation, again we can see the market in this area. This is where the 4-hour doji that you can see, and that 4-hour doji that you can see in that area, which is pretty long candlestick pattern. Getting potential rejection here. Still possibility for another bounce as daily level at 3347 to 3352 level. And for us to find sell entry, this is the level that I'm looking at. It is highly likely the market to feel that imbalance here on the 30 minutes. Go ahead, feel that imbalance, and then to revert again back below in this market. There is the market slowly trying to push back above, and would like to see the price to fill that zone, continue to rise back to the upside, potentially to this level here. And you can see it's trying to fill that zone, and once the price goes to the highest in this move, we will be looking for entry. And crossing 3351 level, though it requires little patience, but that is the level where the high probability trade setup will come in play. And as the market is still showing that pattern on the lower time frame, we can see on the 1 minute some break of structure, but I would prefer the higher time frame resistance for entry. That means daily resistance. Even if you are entering on the lower time frame, that's fine, but we need to look for a level, a resistance line which is based on the higher time frame. Here is slowly the price consolidating, is still showing that potential uptrending market structure, and highly likely we could see the market to go ahead and hit that level in this area. We have one more. This is where you can see that the price is forming this doji, and 4 hour is still we have 50 minutes for this candle to close, and depending on how the candle is closing, I think the possibility for the market to break that high again is still higher. So the 15 minutes candlestick pattern, once we see the price is breaking that high, we could look for sell after price action confirmation. I have level 2 important area is still showing that bullish move in that area. What will happen to gold now? In gold we are looking at, and what will happen? That's a very good question, right? What's gonna happen with gold? We are almost at the end of the week, and so far from the weekly we saw that gold, if you look at the weekly price action here, from this level the market dropped and then returned back again to the upside. From the daily we can see the price from that level rejected. We have a pretty sharp, quite a few long levels that we are looking at on gold. And if you look at here from this support level, you can see this is a support on gold, and that support from this zone has penetrated back to the upside, which is pretty strong move back to the upside in this market. And that is where the market has reached that level, tested this liquidity zone. What we could see in this market, that the market to potentially return back again to this support level. And as this market has moved to the upside with this momentum, we could see the price to ultimately trend back below this level. And here's the move that you can see on gold, which we're expecting for the price to go ahead and hit that level and then to return back again to the support level. Smaller long wick candle is being created here, and slowly the bulls getting comparatively weaker. We might see if the price is hitting that level, we may be able to find very soon a potential sell entry And that 4-hour move, this is a 4-hour bull candle, and it will be waiting to see it's going back here, crossing that high to drop back again below. Waiting on that here for the market to go ahead, hit that level, and then to return back again to the direction of the major trend. Okay, so you can see the price is in fact showing that upside bias. So from this level, there was a order block here on the 15 minutes and 30 minutes that you can spot this level. If the market reject from that level, expecting it to come back here, so that upside movement we can see on gold from this level is an opportunity potentially coming for us to sell from that level. And the 4-hour close coming in few minutes, we could see that upon this 4-hour close, the market to potentially return again back below this level. Welcome. And what we can see, slowly the market trend started to build that pressure back to the upside. I'm looking for possible entry once the price hit that daily resistance line. It's approaching the daily resistance here, which is a very narrow area. And from here, it's trying to build the pressure back to the upside, expecting it to now to go ahead and create a new higher high. From here I move back to the upside here, and where it's approaching that level. Okay, so we can see that the price ultimately moving to the high, and daily resistance is approaching that, as the market initially dropped to the daily low here from the from this intraday perspective here on gold, expecting the market to trend back below. And so far this is a significant move back to the upside to this key level of resistance. Why we didn't buy gold now? Because it's in a daily resistance, and let's delete those lines and refresh that chart. Now what do you see that here? Gold, what is the trend here on gold? This is very important. We can't do blindly. The trend here on gold is bearish, right? So if you look at here, you can see 10 and 20 MA crossed over from each other, and this is the daily trend, and where there is a series of lower high. Okay, so with this bullish candle followed by another daily doji, and if you look at the 4-hour here, this is where there is a huge pin bar is being formed. Now this pin bar so far is still pin bar. The potential for this candle to revert again back below is higher, because there is a, if you look at here, you can see from here, from this support level, if you look at from here, a bounce back to the upside. Also from the same support level, there is a sharp break to the upside, and that bounce again, the price approaching the daily resistance. This is the daily high here. The possibility for the market after retest of this daily high back below is higher. So we are looking for sell from this daily high to this direction. So because if the market is going to hit the daily high today, so far the price visited this direction, and there was significant trend confirmation in that direction. The possibility for the market to drop back below is higher. And if you look at the 30 minutes and 30 minutes chart, you can see that it's a one single move without any pullback. And if this one single move directly going to hit that key level on the daily, potentially creating a new higher high, we are looking for sell, and that's what I'm looking at. You look at the ATR here, which is, if we enter on 30 minutes, we need at least 75 pip 80 stop loss from that level. If we enter from this high, if the market is going to that level, we will be entering sell from the daily high. We will be placing the pending order, waiting for the market to trend to that level again, and then we will be entering into the trade. Waiting on this market to potentially go back there to that key level. This is the key level, a support and a resistance line. The zone the price in where less likely to drop from that level. Instead, you could see further bounce, and there is a pure imbalance from this level to this level. This is an imbalance, and as this market is going back to the upside, the chances for this market to fill that imbalance, as there is another 30 minutes close coming, for the next candle to bounce and fill that imbalance is higher, and that's where you will be entering that trade as soon as we see that. You guys ready for this move and waiting for one more bounce back to the upside to retest this liquidity zone. This is an order block that we have seen in the past. The market drop to that level to potentially test that and then to return back again to the support level. Expecting this market, as you can see, slowly trending, potentially to trend back there to this support and resistance, and that is where the area of value just cross also the 10 and 20 EMA. Here's the move, the price slowly building that pressure back to the upside, and approaching the daily resistance, and we'll be placing a pending order in that area at the moment from this high 4 hour pretty sharp bullish engulfer, and that might potentially go back up here. So I'm placing a sell limit pending order. Sell limit at 3351.95. Stop loss 3359.58, and we'll set TP target at 3335.17, and that's the sell limit that placing 3351.95. Stop loss at 3359.58 and TP target at 3335.17. Place the sell limit here on Xauusd. So we place sell limit here, Xauusd, at this level, as this market from the lower time frame trending back, and we might see the price to potentially retest the daily high. And so we place here almost nearly to 76 pip stop loss. Expecting this market to, after retest as the 4-hour candle close coming, to potentially revert again back below. So sell limit placed on gold. We'll be also discussing in detail the strategy, the education behind. Expecting for the market to potentially to test and then to return again back below. We need to adjust the entry. We can do that. Here's the bullish price action from here. Pretty sharp move back to the upside. I would like to see the price has in fact tested this level. Now how this 30 minutes candle closing also important. If we look at the 15 minutes, we can see also it is forming a long wick doji here. Waiting for the market to show up its hand. Here's the move that you can see. We'll be looking forward to see the market to have one more bounce back to the upside. Here, lower time frame again still showing potential bullish move here in that market. Okay, so slowly the price is building that pressure back to the upside. We place the pending order here on gold, and as the market already has made its initial bounce back to the upside, the possibility for the price to break below is higher. And with the 4-hour close, if you look at, you can see the 4-hour candle closing, and before the 4-hour close, expecting the price to penetrate above this level and then to return back again to the direction of the trend. And crossing that high is important to see the price in fact manage to create a new higher high and then to come for a false break below. 30 minutes is closing as a doji. Now for a short-term entry, if we look at the very lower time frame here, 1 minute, we can see there is a liquidity grab, as there is another 2 important news coming in 1 minute time. So I will keep the pending order on. We might see short-term spike, but our entry is well above, and I will keep that on for any possible trigger in my entry with proper risk management, of course. We have data, boom, that has broken below. Now that break, let's wait to see if the market is going to back up to retest the daily high, and our entry is above the daily high. So any move back above is where you will be able to find a trigger of a trade. But if it doesn't reach that level, we might be even find entry on candle close. We'll be looking to see how the candle is closing. If you look at the 4-hour, you can see this is a massive bearish candle so far, and how this candle closing is important because we'd like to see that. You can see it already crossed that high and broken back below, so which is a downtrend. So 4-hour, if we look at, already it has created pretty long bearish candle. And Waiting on that. This is the 4-hour bearish candle. You can see it's a pretty sharp bear market, and at the moment with this bearish price action, expecting that, you can see it has broken completely from the structure. Now before this 4-hour close, because it's a long doji, if the market is not going to hit our entry, we might be readjusting our entry in this market. It's a very sharp drop, and we might see what I think for another, this is a also previous support. And from the 1 hour also it's a doji. The candle close is very important on the higher time frame. Here's the doji 4 hours so far. Would like to see if it has broken above. Looking at how the market structure is evolved. If you look at here, this is a resistance line. And from the 30 minutes and from the 4-hour chart, waiting for the market to show a possible complete directional bias. This is the 5 minutes, complete drop back below, and depending on how this candle closing is important to see. Now this is 1 hour candlestick pattern, 1 hour price action showing that there is a very strong liquidity gap here and then rejected, and this is a news candle as well. So keeping eye on the 1 hour candle close. We have 8 minutes to go to possibly open position. I still keep the pending order on in this area. It's a sharply bear market. If you look at here, it's a 1 hour long bearish engulfer. So from the 1 hour as well, you can see the market has created a sharp bearish engulfer here. From this level, we can see that pretty sharp drop back below, and that drop, the market is possibly to again trend or to reject back again, depending on how the market structure creating. So let's see that with this 5 minutes candle, how the market is reacting to the candle close or new candle open on the 5 minute chart. There's a bearish move on the lower time frame. This is a liquidity grab, pretty sharp bearish engulfer. 15 minutes perspective, also bearish engulfer. 5 minutes. This is the last candle before the 4 hour close. And from the 1 hour, a big bearish engulfer that you can see it has created. should we be changing our entry? Let's look at here in this market. I think the possibility for, because there's a 4-hour candle closing as a bearish, possibility for a break below is higher. This is a doji formation. Now we can see on the 4-hour chart. Might remain sideways. We have seen the 4-hour closing as a long wick candle. This is a pretty sharp, big long wick has created. So in this area, we can see the market has candle closed and there is a long wick doji on the 4-hour chart. That price action, now we can see that there is a, if you look at the daily, so that 4-hour candle close that we can see on the intraday here is with a pretty sharp long wick, and as this is a long-term market here, what we can expect for the price to potentially retest this level. So the market even may remain sideways for quite a while, as from the bigger picture what we can see that lower time frame price action, this is where here's the 5 minutes price action, long wick candle. So from the 1 hour, what we can see, there is a long wick candle here, and what I think it might remain little sideways for some period of time in this market, as there is a sharp rejection from the top. That being said, looking at potential entry that we need to look for in this market for this possible trend that you can see here, as it may melt back below in the direction for further liquidity grab. So 4 hour pretty sharp doji here in that area, and what I think here, we might be able to find a revised entry as the market form a pin bar. The price could potentially remain bearish here. So this is the 1 minute you can see, and there is a rejection from the top on the 1 minute chart. With this long wick candle, what we can see here in this market, it might create a head and shoulder, and the price still may continue to drop back below in this market. The other probability is for the market to go ahead and hit the 4 hour resistance line in this area. Let's look at here. I've deleted those levels to see. I think this price may try to test again and then could potentially drop below. So the best entry here will be if the market breaks this support level, because this price may continue to rise a lot, or this price may go back up here and then reject back below to the direction of the major trend. As our entry is still pending order to the upside, it is still there. The pending order is at 3351.95, and as the market slowly trying to build that pressure back to the upside, I will still be keeping the pending order in the same area for a potential entry, as slowly the price is trying to push back again to the upside here. Now that being said, here is the lower time frame, and what I think we can see the market to retest back. So in this area where the price trying to push back to the upside, guys, here I'm going to place a sell stop. So basically changing the pending order from the sell limit to sell stop, as if this market goes up here, it might go in that zone, but if it breaks below, we can expect a downtrending move to this level. So the pending order will be placing sell stop, and with the sell stop from here, stop loss above this high, we can keep the current candles high, TP target below this level. So sell stop at 335.87. Stop loss at 3343.93. And take profit target at 3326.30. Now this market, if it is trending upside here, we could see the market again crossing the daily high to return. But if the market drop below, breaking that low here, chances for the market to drop back to this support is higher. So place that pending order, changed area. Now we can see the price trying to move again back to the upside here in this market. It's pushing back again. Market has crossed that low to the previous sessions, and from the 4-hour perspective, after retesting of this 20 EMA, it's now trying to push back up. But I think what the market could do here, breaking that 4 hours high and then to return back below again in the major direction of the trend. Starting a new uptrend is, I think, it's too early yet, as the possibility for the market to shift back again is higher. There's a doji, and I've closed the sell limit but placed the sell stop here. If this market coming back, which is still probability, then we will be on the trade for this drop. Otherwise, looking forward to wait to see further opportunity. Now, the most important part as a trader is to look at high probability trade and trading with the trend. So if you look at the 5 minutes, you can see here it's showing bullish. If you look at 30 minutes, you can see it's still not trend confirmed. So if this 5 minutes bullish was aligning with 30 minutes strong bull, I would look to buy. Now here, this is long-term bear market. The market may prepare for a change of trend as we are almost at the end of the week. So if it is preparing for a change of trend, we will be waiting for riding the trend for bigger move. If you look at the daily, here you can see that there's a daily, previous daily bullish. But I think without breaking that low on the daily, the market may not be able to go ahead and higher high create. Instead, we could see the price to return back again in the major direction. So it might go ahead here, break any of this high, and could still be coming back. So the pending order here, if you want to keep it's, you still can keep on. In that case, I would recommend not to place this one here, depending on, but one at a time. Both sell position, and I think both could be working out shortly if the market goes in that area. So that being said, guys, this is exclusive live session from Forex Trading Wizard Academy for live trade and education. Tomorrow, Friday, as you know, the last day of trading week, and I would highly encourage you to watch both of the live session coming tomorrow, as in both of this live session we will be trading and also making consistent profit every single day. That being said, thank you very much for joining. I'll see you again very soon, trading live together.